Hey, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to make a fog chiller. So a fog machine works by heating up and vaporizing the fog juice. Now the fog that comes out is really hot and light and airy, so it fills up the room, and it's great for like laser effects and dance parties, but it's not the effect we want for our cemetery. For our yard haunt, we want the fog to be low and kind of roll across the ground. So that's where the fog chiller comes in. The fog chiller works on the principle that warm air rises and cold air is more condensed and sinks to the bottom. So the way this is going to work is the fog is going to go in through here, and then it's going to come out the top. We're going to fill the chamber with ice, making it cold in there. So as it comes out, it'll mix with the cold air, get heavier, and pass through the ice, and then come out the output there and create a really cool rolling fog effect in our cemetery.
The materials for this are super simple, they're inexpensive, you probably already have a lot of this stuff around the house. Check the description for the full list. We started by drilling the input and the output holes into the side of our storage container at the same diameter as our PVC pipe. Next, we measured roughly halfway up the container and made a bunch of marks around the outside. Then we drilled a small pilot hole in each of those marks. Then we take these little screws and a single washer, and we're going to put a little bit of silicone around the hole so that it's airtight, and we're going to screw it all the way in. We'll see what these are for in a minute. We also installed a plug for convenience so that we could easily drain out the melted ice water throughout the night. Next, we started working on the plumbing. We put it roughly together and then made a mark a little bit below the top of the container and then brought it to the bandsaw to cut it. If you don't have a bandsaw, don't sweat it. You could still use a hacksaw, or a jigsaw works great too for cutting the PVC. I'm just using that because it's fast. There was one more small piece to cut, so we marked it, cut it, and then brought it back over and did a dry fit of everything. This will be the input here, and that's the output tube. Next, we went back to the bandsaw and used a cutoff piece and cut off about 4 half-inch rings, cut a little slit in them, and then we can stretch these around the pieces to use as clamps. This is a really cool technique. To hold everything together, we used a few dots of hot glue. This will be plenty strong enough for what we need, but it's nice because we can always get it apart again if we need to. With all these pieces installed, we can now put the input tube through the hole and put the adapter on the outside, and then the output tube gets slid into place, the clamps hold it in, and then we can use a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place as well as to seal up all of the air gaps. Next, we take a piece of chicken wire and we're going to cut it to size, and this is going to get installed inside to hold up the ice. We'll cut it a little bit bigger and then trim it to fit, and then basically stuff it inside. This creates kind of a rounded, almost bowl shape, and then we're going to take it out and we're going to cut another piece of chicken wire. This is going to add strength, but it's also going to offset the holes in the chicken wire so that the ice can't fall through. Next, we put it back in and we're going to use the screws that we installed earlier to hold up the chicken wire. This gives it plenty of strength, but it's also easy to take in and out. When we put the top in the container, we want to keep as much of that fog in as we can. So we're going to use some hot glue and put some foam around the edges to try to create more of an airtight seal. Now that everything was assembled, it was time to give it some paint. And voila! Black spray paint. Looking pretty good. Finally, we stuck a skull on there for good measure, and it was time to do a leak test. Essentially here what we're doing is not using any ice, so this is just regular fog, and we're trying to let it rise and see where it comes out. For the most part, everything looked pretty good. The only thing we were worried about was that there was actually fog leaking out of the air intake.
So when we were researching how to do this, we read somewhere that having a separate input would allow more air to come in and have the whole thing like cycle better and science would happen. But all it does is leak out the back when we do this, so we ended up just taping it, and now it works a lot better. If you have any idea why that might have worked, let us know in the comments.
With the leak solved, we put some ice in, and it was time to give it a real test. This whole project only takes about an hour to make. It's cheap, it's really easy to do, and it has a huge impact on your Halloween setup. If you're looking for an easy way to up your Halloween game this year, look no further.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun making this, and it works even better than I expected, so that's great. If you have any ideas on how we could do a better job on the next one, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the Wicked Makers channel. It does help us out a lot. And if you did like the video, please check out our channel. We got a lot of other videos you probably like as well. Until next time, stay wicked.
A fog liquid, which is a mixture of water and something else. Fog juice. the